Shubor nakaslem jong Kongsan Hima.
Menteri Katanat Development of Northeastern Region, Ujoy Tira Ditya Scindia hakasngi thoding, ulaong Katanat kan peteng ban Ïatreilang bat gejala Tang haki projek ba Kongsan, Hynrei haki Liang Bapher-Bapher. Ïatreilang kelekran lor kibut, kisandur, bat galinti yat nang nesha khmat nakam ta gejala, bat ngin beteng ban Ïatreilang Tang haki kaptu kat niki projek ki balong Kongsan ne gejala, Hynrei hakaliang ke macro strategy nak bata gejala, dak babu jingmut lang ya kiwe ke jala hapo kathan shtei lamikngi ki jala bat union territory hapo India kumju kiri marjan jongi laong Scindia habakran shakila patai khobor hadin ke jingalang khmi ibnya halor ke jing pentrika miki project Bapher-Bapher hapo kathan utei menteri sarkar pedeng ulaong ngin pejru aha kaliang ki kam khayi bat kilat penyesok bari kumta ki don shibun ki aka ki bengile kren hak bede ba ke jingtei ke bengin hap penek jingmut bat ngakarmen bantre hakani ke benta bat menteri rang ba kejala ukan rat ke sangma hakisngi banwan Scindia ule thuru bagajingalang hakani ke sngi kelekran halor kelinti nang ni shakmat kaba ke Meghalaya ke thmu ban shim hapo kejingalam menteri rang ba kejala yang akalalong kejingalang ke bakit jingmut bha ke bangila kedau shai hak babun ke Liang hakabede ba ke Meghalaya ulaong haba kedau ki sinjam ki ba menteri rang ba bat ke sarkar jongu kalashim halor kelintiyat ban pentelun ni ki kam bat karoi kapar hapo kejala ulaong bakum menteri katanat dona ula pensengawi kalinti ke badai ban shim ya kathan shatei lamingi dak ba phaikmat shamala ki jala hapo kathan ngile kren ru halor kumnu ban phaikmat shakanong ba bathamai katkum ka juk start menta haringkat ke jingklan ki riti dustur jongi nalor kane ban penet jingmut haki benta kum ki kam jungok kai karap karyang bat kumno ngintei ban ya chakmat hak be de bat kini laong Scindia.
As you can see, we've had a very long and a very thorough and a very exhaustive discussion on the path forward that Meghalaya intends to take under the able stewardship and leadership of Chief Minister Sahab. For me, it has been most importantly a very educative meeting where we have very clearly outlined in many ways the areas of core competence and comparative advantage of Meghalaya. The Chief Minister and his government's path of progress and development for the state. I, on my part, as Minister of Donor, have outlined the path that we need to take in the NER, Northeast region, looking at each individual state's comparative and competitive advantages going forward and to be able to build on that. I have been truly taken aback and pleasantly so with the plans that the Chief Minister's had for the new Shillong investment area, setting up the new directorate. We've also, I've given in our discussions various inputs as to how we should look at a new modern city with our traditional strengths and as in addition to that looking at areas of core competencies such as tourism, agriculture, IT and how we should build that going forward. So today has been a very exhaustive 2.5 hours on really strategy and planning and path forward for the state. And we will continue to work together, not only on particular projects that are important for Meghalaya, but also on the macro strategy for the state, keeping in mind our comparative and competitive advantages vis-a-vis the rest of the states in the Northeast, vis-a-vis the 36 states and union territories within India, and also vis-a-vis our immediate neighbors, and therefore looking at aspects of even international trade and international connectivity. So there is a tremendous amount on our plate as we have gotten up today in terms of building blocks that we need to strategize on. And I look forward to working on that with Sangma Sahab in the near future. So I do believe that if we want to look at a solution, it must not be a stopgap, intermittent solution. It must be a permanent solution. Now the question is, what could that be? That question, the answer lies with each individual state government. I believe my role is that of a facilitator. But I think we should look at not only the revival of infrastructure after the damage done by floods, where ministries such as donor would like to come forward and help, but we should also look at how do we tackle this situation going forward. There are some ideas that we have in our mind where we can work with even the Jal Shakti Mantralaya and the Environment Ministry, but as you would appreciate, that this is a discussion that we must have in our forum where all 8 states, the leadership of all states, sit together so that we can come together and come up with a unified solution going forward to be able to ameliorate this problem in the years to come. I think it's important for us to not necessarily only look at events, but to look at a journey, right? The budget is an extremely important part of any state's development and the country's development. But at the same time, it's very important to strategize and come up with a process for a journey. That's what I have embarked upon with our Chief Minister here in Meghalaya in this 2.5-hour, 3-hour meeting that we've had. It has not been a meeting only about numbers and about projects and about rupees, whether it's in lakhs or crores, but it's been about a journey and what are the areas that we need to concentrate on. I intend to have the same conversation with the other 7 chief ministers, because it's only in partnership that we can forge together a path forward. As far as the donor ministry is concerned, we had a budget of 2,289 crores in 2014-15 under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he has looked at not necessarily a look east policy alone, but an act east policy, where he has looked at replacing the thought of the Northeast being the farthest end of the country to being the first entry point of the country, to being the gateway of the country. And rightfully so, because when the sun shines on India, the first place that the sun casts its rays and illuminates all our lives is in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And therefore, the Northeast must be looked as the gateway to India, which is the Prime Minister's prerogative. And which is why you've seen a budget allocation grow from 24,000 crores in 2014-15 in terms of the 10% GBS support of 54 states to over 1 lakh crores today. So there's a 4x multiple in terms of the gross budgetary support. There's close to a 3x multiple in terms of donors' budget. And therefore, whether you look at infrastructure, where almost 40,000 kilometers of roads have been built under PMGSY, where airports have grown from 9 to 17 today in the Northeast. Many states did not even have a single airport. When you look at rail connectivity, after 67 years, rail connectivity first came to the Northeast 5 or 6 years ago. So therefore, there has been huge movement across infrastructure fronts, across healthcare front, across the medical sector front, and we intend to push that forward along with all our 8 states in the near future, based on the strategy that we come up with. Okay. Lives that have been lost during these floods. Every life is invaluable. Every life is a member of our family that has been lost. My deepest condolences to all the members of the families who have lost their near and dear ones. This is not a story only about infrastructure. This is not a story about only repairing roads. This is a story about people. And that is the more important aspects. All our state governments, I believe, whether it is Assam or Arunachal or Meghalaya or any of our states, our leaderships are working extremely hard to take care of our citizens, and any assistance that can be provided, the central government and the donor ministry would be more than happy to come forward and help. But there is a single body. I don't think it's important to necessarily look at whether it is you or you who's going to be the funnel. But it's necessarily to not look at only process, but also to look at outcome. Not necessarily to look at only outlays, but look at the outcome. So for example, in the donor ministry now, we have put together in the last 2-3 weeks, we have put together consulting all our people that we will not look at only utilization certificates and completion certificates for projects. We will try and make sure that all our states also do a social audit. So for example, if a hospital has been put up, or for example, if a school has been put up, that's brick and mortar. But brick and mortar alone has no value unless there is a soul inside the brick and mortar. So a hospital must have doctors, a hospital must have nurses, a school must have teachers, because that is the real soul. And therefore, not only a UC and a CC, but also a social audit as to how many patients have been treated in a hospital, how many students have been taught in a school. That is very monumentally important in our path of progress as we go forward. So I'm trying to bring a new dimension to the way that we think in partnership with all our states, so that we can reach our common end goal of development and progress as enshrined by the Prime Minister in his insistence of ensuring that Viksit Bharat means a Viksit Northeast. Thank you very much.